Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Susie Gatti. I wanted to just talk a little bit today about having your dog get older and adapting to that with greater ease because it's so easy for us to come to any kind of conclusion. So we observe something, we think about it, and then we come to conclusion. So for me too, I've had my dog Charlie for over 13 years now. And the last few years, it's been getting very obvious that his walks are not as enthusiastic as they used to be. And I have two other dogs that are younger. And so there was always a bit of that discrepancy of like, how fast do I walk? How far do I go? And it was also interesting because I would go ahead and he would follow, but he would fall back further and further. But when I would stop and try to wait for him, he would also stop in the middle of the road and he would watch me and go, "What are you doing?" And when I say the middle of the road, I live very far out there. So there aren't very many cars that come through. So it's not a danger for him to stand there. It's basically a dirt road. But so, I got kind of used to then hiding behind a bush so I would entice him to come. And just recently, I realized that he was choosing to come less and less. And I thought, oh, maybe he's getting older and older and he just doesn't want to walk anymore. But truth be told, I just wasn't willing to really be in the question and look at like the decisions I had made about him getting older and what that was really looking for him. Like, what was that doing to him? So, just a few weeks ago, I started to really make it more about him leading the way. So I would not walk ahead of him. I would walk next to him or slightly behind him. And I noticed a change in his attitude and I noticed him getting happier. And he would every now and again even just look at me, out of the corner of his eye, like, "Hey, are you there? Hi." And I could really notice him being much more enthusiastic. And instead of now going for one walk a day, he started coming for two again, which he used to do years ago. So it's really interesting. And so today I was like, wow, this is actually my fault, quote unquote. And it's not about fault, but I recognized how fast we really come to some kind of a conclusion. And if I had not stopped and changed my attitude and my way with him, he might have really not chosen to come on walks anymore forever. And who knows how long he will be here on this planet anymore. I don't know that for sure. And neither does he probably. But, I was making those last weeks, months, years harder on him by not really looking at what he desired. So, what I'm inviting you to is that when you have an animal that is going through changes, to really stay in the question like, what's required today? What is my animal asking for? What are they capable of? What are they enjoying? Am I walking fast enough? Am I walking too fast? Am I walking too slow? Like, please don't come to conclusions of any kind, because when we come to conclusion, it's like literally having blinders on. And once you put those blinders on, you don't see anymore what is happening around you. You are tunnel vision kind. And so with that, you no longer can really respond to any kind of changes. You cannot really see when something else is required or when something is going on. And so, in that sense, I really want to invite you to look more at like, oh, what is the question that I could be asking today of my pet? And what's this day like today? What are we doing today? And maybe the day is a day of just resting. And what if that was okay too? Because there's been many days when Charlie wasn't choosing to go walking at all. And, I'd be like, "Hey, Charlie, come on, let's go." And he would be like, "Nope, not going." And I would try again. And he would just look at me sort of like bored. So then I would just go with the other two and leave him alone, and that was okay. And I didn't see him suffering with that. But now seeing his enthusiasm with me really adapting my way of being with him is really joyful for me too. And the other dogs still don't suffer because we may be walking less far, but we're going slower and the time we're out there is actually longer. So they have still time to run and explore. We may not just be going as far as we would go if Charlie wasn't there, but that also doesn't seem to really make a difference. And I know not everybody has the privilege to walk their dog off leash, but even on leash, what could you do to adapt a bit more and be in the question? So again, like what I did today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. But what question can I be tomorrow to make it work for Charlie? What question can you be tomorrow to make it work for your pet and for you? It has to work for you too. You have to be joyful in all of that too. But for me personally, when I see his happiness and his joy, it really puts a smile on my face too. So I can easily be convinced to change my ways if when I see him being happy about the choice I just made. So just a little poke, a little invitation for you to maybe have a look what else is possible with your aging pet and not necessarily coming to the conclusion that, oh, everything is going to be bad or, it's going to be just looking like this, etc., etc. So, what fun things can you still have with your pet and what really works for both of you? And again, please remember you are part of this relationship. It is not all about your pet. It also has to work for you. And if you are somebody who's very active and who likes to walk very fast, and that's no longer working for your pet, then maybe have a look at how you can still also enjoy walking by yourself. Or maybe you have somebody else's dog that you can walk that likes to run with you still, and please don't see that as, oh, I'm betraying my poor old dog. No, have fun with your old dog but also do what works for you with your body. And don't try to, cut yourself off from life and living because your animal is no longer being able to keep up with you. So it has to really work for all of us because otherwise it's not fun. And what if we really could have a little bit more joy with each other and not have to try to make everything fit? So, thank you for listening and please enjoy your elderly pet as much as you can. All right, everybody. See you next time. Bye.